Hey guys, it's Missy Wolf, and I'm here with Shelly Fairchild.
Hi.
How are you? Long time no see.
So good. Long time no see. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me here.
I can't help but see you because, girl, you are everywhere.
I mean, I don't know about everywhere,
no.
but goodness, a lot more places than I have been in the last couple of years. So that's really exciting.
No, it's great. I see your name everywhere. You guys just listen to me and trust me because I know what I'm talking about. CMT, Nashville, 3rd and Lindsley, the Opry. What was that? Just on like August
Opry,
5th?
Yes,
Yeah.
August 4th.
August 4th, okay.
I know it was my first time back on the Opry since my first record, which was 2005. I mean, I've been on the Opry, but I've sung backgrounds for people. So it's my first thing to do my own music. My first time to do that in a while.
What was it like for you getting in that circle again?
You know, it's interesting because I rarely get really nervous. I mean, I still get nervous, but I don't get like super nervous. But I was really, really nervous. My entire family came into town. I mean, it's the Grand Ole Opry, and the house is packed because everybody loves the Opry, so it's always packed. And I don't know, it just felt like, I think this time around, I'm noticing everything. Before, it was like I had a record deal out on a major label and I was touring and doing a lot of things that were amazing, but it just was happening so quickly. And so now it's like I just soaked it all up, and it was just every moment from the second that I got there to the second that I left was like, oh my goodness, this is real. And I appreciate it so much. Like this second time around, just I can't even explain it. Well, it's magical.
Anyone who's following you on social media knows exactly, how much you love it and how much you were appreciating it, because your posts all day that day, you were so excited. And
I can't believe my life. No, but it's true. I mean, you dream about being on the Grand Ole Opry, and if you sing country music, and so I mean, maybe you dream about it even if you don't sing country music.
Right,
it's a really special place. So
well, and the nice thing about you too is your music, you have a voice and a style where you can cross over into so many different genres, which I love. And I mean, I can really rock out to your music, and I can really feel with your music. You have some emotion in those lyrics and in those stories that, for me, I'm like, how could she not have written this as a personal experience? Because whether you did or not, I don't know, but it comes across as though you have experienced every single word in those songs, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this, I keep saying this is like my most honest record that I've made, which is definitely the truth. I mean, there was a lot of subject matter covered. There are some things that I didn't write that I recorded that were important to me, and some of them just kind of fun, and like the experience of like Muddy Water. I didn't write that. Dennis Lindy wrote that, but it's swampy. It feels like Mississippi. That's where I'm from, and my grandmother loved that song. I cut it on my first record, so I had to recut it because I just felt like it was like I love singing it, and I wanted to do it again. So, and Mississippi Turnpike, my first single from this record, I did not write, but it was almost as if I had written it, because I was going through a pretty hard time last summer when that song came into my presence, and it was like, oh my goodness, I heard it and I was like, what? This is totally right. I need to feel like myself again. And so that's what that song was about. But everything else, Why Can't We Carry Each Other is a song I wrote, and it was definitely, I have a very I have a big heart for like social injustice and like and the things that happen in our lives that are not fair, and just like equality and everything, and I'm very, very passionate about that. So that's what that song came from, and how people like sit behind their computers and they talk smack about other people, and it's just not fair, I hate that, like bullies and everything. Yes. So that's really what that song came from. And Unholy Spirit was about someone that I had a personal experience with that struggles with addiction, and like just how that runs rampant in our culture, whether it's alcohol or drugs or pills or whatever it is. So that was a very personal thing, and just, I mean, I could keep going. But.
And you're right, though. And, you were talking about addiction. I just read a story from one of the artists. I'm not going to say names, but one of the artists that we've interviewed that we love and adore posted a story about their friend losing their 23-year-old son this last week to addiction. It's sad. It's everywhere you go right now. And the whole bullying and the social media stuff, like, for me, I'm so over it. Do we need any more apps? do we really need any more apps that are going to, help bullies, cyberbullying just escalate even more than it already is? So your songs and your positivity and your attitude and your approach to everything is something that I, as a music fan, absolutely respect. But also as a mother who, has children growing up and there's tough times, we need positive outlets for our children. We need places for them to go. And, your music is definitely one of those avenues. And I have to thank you for that as a fan and as a mom, because and for the magazine too. I mean, you have such an honesty about you and so much talent. Oh my gosh, that was just, it's bursting out of you. And I love it. But I'm so happy because when I saw you, what was it? It was almost, was it two years? It was a year ago summer, right?
Yes, maybe a year and a half ago, something.
So when I saw you, I had wanted to interview you that night and we didn't get to, but you got to do my hair for me. And I was just sitting there, sitting in the chair like,
you were just struggling. You had just come off of a plane. You didn't have your curling iron. I was there for you. I will be there. Oh my gosh.
And then the guy, I forget, I can't even think of their names right now. Montgomery Gentry, and it was halfway to Hazard, I think. They crashed my interview and they were being all silly, and it ended up being such a crazy night. And then before I knew it, I was like, where did she go? I wanted to interview you so bad. So thank you for coming and sitting here with me right now. I know, I love this. I love that you're here. What do you have coming up? Because I can't keep track.
Let me think. Well, we're going to cut a new video to another song on the record. Not going to tell you what it is, but it might have to do with
Stay tuned. You guys know what that is.
And then I'm actually have been added to the roster of Americana Fest here in Nashville, which I've been dying to be a part of that community, and so I get to do that. And then I'm playing a show. It's Tequila Bay Fest in Miami, Florida, coming up. Hello. And then I'm going to Key West. But we also have a motorcycle event on Loretta's Ranch coming up at the end of September, too. It's a motorcycle and music revival. And so I get to be a part of that.
Wow.
It's a lot, I know. But I have on my website, so shellyfairchild.com, you'll be able to see anything and everything, because I talk about, I want people to be there hanging out with me. So.
And I love that. And your fans are so supportive.
It's crazy, because I did a Pledge Music campaign to raise money to make the record, and this was several years ago, and it's like I hit the goal in 2 days, and then they almost doubled, like my friends, my family, my fan. I mean, I consider like my fans like my friends. It's so funny. I feel like we are, because we were in it together. I wouldn't have been able to do the record if it hadn't been for that. So,
and they're commenting along the whole journey.
I know.
They're staying up to date with you. They're doing everything, and they're sharing your music and your adventure with all of their friends. And so it's just, when you get a good group of loyal fans, man, they will move mountains.
Well, you know how it is. It's like if you love something, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I just got this facial product or whatever it is that you, oh my God, Bumble and whatever hair product or whatever. Like, you talk about it, and I think that's how I am with music that I love, and I've been so just shocked at how my friends and fans and everything have been like that with my music. That's really what's important, is that you just share it, and so it's been working. It's been fun.
Right. Well, and it does. And Happy looks so good on you, by the way. I just have to say, I absolutely adore that, you're just here, your energy, and you're just so much fun, and you light up our room. I mean, I don't even need these lights back here. We just need you. It's all good.
So sparkly.
No, you're I almost broke out into song, but you guys at home don't want to hear me do that, so never mind. No. Do you ever get asked to do karaoke or anything like that? Yeah. Do you like it or no? Because I'm like,
karaoke makes me nervous, because it's like you got to pick the songs, and what songs are you gonna pick, and then people are like waiting on your everywhere, like, what are you gonna, so sometimes I pick like Dixie Chick songs, sometimes I pick like Diana Ross, like it just doesn't, I don't know, whatever I'm feeling, but it's crazy. I get nervous.
Well, I do too, but then I have a few drinks, and then I'll actually go and do the song, and then I get booed off stage, and it's all good. And those of you who know me at home who are watching and you've been a part of that, just keep those comments to yourself. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to see them. Nothing.
Nothing but love right here.
No, but that's something I often wonder. Like, they always say a mechanic's car is never fixed and a painter's house is never painted. Right. So do you really want to go and do those types of events and venues, karaoke bars? Does it bother you, or are you happy?
I don't know. I don't take myself too seriously ever. So it's like, if it's fun and that's what we're doing, then that's what we're doing. Like, I don't, I enjoy, and I think it's so funny. We have a karaoke bar here called Wannabes. It's totally right, too. Like, aren't we all just kind of like wannabes? I don't know. But I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I think that's great. So where can fans find you? I know you said your website, but you have all kinds of social media. So is everything linked up?
You can find me, everything's linked up. So if you go to shellyfairchild.com, you can look at all the little logos of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So I have, and that all is just Shelly Fairchild. So whatever it is across the board. And then you can also go on Spotify. So they're playing me on Spotify. I'm on a few playlists, and you can just look me up and save the songs to your playlist. And
that's right. And you've been pretty excited about that. I saw a post about that. You were so excited you couldn't believe that they had added. No,
because it's really hard. Like today, that's kind of our real radio play is being on playlists, and people really tell you what they like to listen to. So for instance, Mississippi Turnpike has been my single, but we also have seen that another song of mine called Damn Good Lover has shown up on playlists. So it's like people kind of tell you what they like, and so it's easy. It's like everybody in the world is a record label, like, well, this is what we want to hear next. Radio.
Absolutely. Have the fans helped you with your process as far as picking your music and what you're going to put on your album and all of that?
When I did the Pledge campaign originally, I kind of would share some acoustic, like work tape versions of songs that I was doing. And then I got a little, my artist mind, like the creative person in me just got like really internal, and so I kind of stopped sharing as much because I was really trying to just hone in on it myself and like, what do I care about? How am I going to be honest completely? And just so the process became a little different at that point. But I think once the record came out and I've gotten feedback, it's been interesting. Like I love to play what people love to hear. So
absolutely,
it's I don't know. I've gotten a lot of feedback, and I feel like along the way, it's going to definitely influence my next record and everything. So. Yeah.
Right. And to me, that just seems kind of normal, right? I mean, you want their input, you want to see, you want to, you want to put something out there that people are going to respond well to. But there's also that side where I often wonder, are there any songs that you have that are your personal favorite, but maybe didn't get the response that you wanted, or vice versa, one that you just could not stand, or it wasn't your favorite? Because I hear that all the time, where people write a song and they're like, they just doubt themselves. And even though it's an amazing song and we love it, they just, for whatever reason, they're picking at themselves and they don't like it. And then that's the one fans and everybody loves. Do you have any of those moments?
I don't know. At the moment, I feel like I've kind of just gone with the flow, so I like to listen to what people think about each thing. Some of it's been surprising to me. A lot of people really love a song that I have on the record called Start Walking. It's nothing like most of the other songs on the record, so I'm always like, really? Like, okay, that's cool. I mean, I wrote it with a couple of my friends, so obviously I like it too, but it just strikes me as interesting that people have gravitated towards that at times. And I mean, I don't know, I kind of am just interested in the process of art, so I like the response either way. The funniest thing to me is, like, I've actually had more of a response about, like, my image, like when I had my hair short and things like that, where I hated your hair or whatever. Like, people think that it's so important to, like, tell you how they feel about, so that's been the most interesting thing, is, like, just that kind of stuff. But as far as music, it's been a pretty good response. I really haven't heard anything that's been like, wait, that's not very nice, or that's, I don't know. It's
right. Well, And it is interesting and it's fun. And I love that you were talking about the hair because, I mean, back in the day with all the record labels, we talk about this occasionally where, artists used to have to ask permission to even cut their own hair.
Oh, yeah.
Image was huge. And
the first record deal that I had, I went to lunch right after I was signing the paperwork, and he asked me if he was going to have to, buy me any parts to go on my body, because I think they had just paid to have somebody's ears pinned back and somebody's teeth done and someone else, and he asked me, he's like, do I have to buy anything for your body? And I was like, wait, what? I don't understand.
Oh my God.
So that's crazy.
I might have jumped on the opportunity and been like, well, you can take some stuff off of my body.
I know, right?
For sure.
Well,
oh my God, what a funny question. Nobody has ever said that to me before.
It's interesting.
That's crazy. I never would have thought about that. Just how crazy.
I mean, I could go into detail, but
Oh yeah, no, we don't have to do that here. It's all good.
But at the time, I was like, what? Is that a thing? I mean, I guess everything is a thing.
I guess so. I mean, hey, to each their own.
I know, right?
Everybody out there watching, you want to add parts? Great. You want to take them away? Awesome. We support you. But no, that's so much fun. And hearing your experience, what was different to you? What's the biggest difference, I should say? I can't even talk to you guys. The biggest difference between your previous album and working with label versus now?
My first record that I put out, there just seemed to be a lot of people around. So with a major label deal, I was on Sony. There were creative people, deciding on the songs that I was putting on the record. There were people that were booking my photo shoots and telling me putting my image together, so to speak. And then there were people asking me about how I wanted my name, the font that I wanted my name, there's so many different things. What colors this, and what do I want to present as far as my image throughout my career? It's I don't know. I just want to be me, So I'm picking producers to what kind of sound do you want and all this kind of stuff. So this go around, it being independent, it was really all me. And like I said, with the Pledge Music fan, so if I asked a certain question, hey, I'm thinking about making a record more like my first record, and I got a response right. We love that idea, and it just happened to lean a little more country than my last couple of records. And so I got an excitement and an enthusiasm towards that, which encouraged me because that's what I was feeling in my soul. So it was oh, good, I'm on the right path. And then, just, I don't know, pictures that I would put out and people would say, oh, I love that. What a great picture. And, just encouragement. And I really didn't get a lot of negative feedback. It just kind of was everybody, we've all been in it together. It's been the easiest. I don't know. It was just no chaos. It just seemed well, wow, that's interesting. Just me and the people. We're just hanging out, making decisions. So it wasn't a big business thing. I guess that's the biggest takeaway. Is it just was kind of real life. It felt like the whole process. So it was very honest and simple.
Right. I love that, and I think it's so important for people to have creative control over their own life and their own career. And so I'm thrilled with the amount of independent artists that we see every day. I'm not thrilled that I feel like it's such a brutal industry for them to get into and be heard. And that's the part that I think so many people have struggled with, is just that you have to have money to make the money and to get on the radio. And there's just it's not like it was back in the day. I mean, you still had to have money back then, but nowadays it's just, to me, it's just independent artists. People are not just listening to the radio stations anymore. They're going to the Sirius XM. They're finding music on social media and YouTube and all of that stuff. So I feel like they have a bigger shot now. Independent artists have a bigger shot, and when you're in more control of your career and your choices, I think it just is better for your attitude and your life and everything that you have going for yourself. I mean, I don't know if you agree with that or not.
It is. It's definitely, there's less, what am I trying to say? There's a broader spectrum of your opportunities, but you also have to not be so all over the place that you don't have a focus and a goal. And a lot of the times, because it is hard to make money doing it, then because you're an artist, and it's like, I don't know, there are a gazillion artists now, and they can be found everywhere. So you have to be very creative but very focused, and you have to work really, really hard. It can't just be as whimsical as you would think, you know. And there are a lot of different ways to be heard, but those ways, there's a very small window of opportunity in a lot of ways. Like Spotify, getting on playlist, there's still a formula. There's still sort of hoops that you have to jump through. It's really interesting, but to try to understand the full spectrum of the business, it can be very overwhelming, as well as freeing. So
right. And being that you've got to experience both sides of that, I feel like you would be the perfect person for an independent artist, somebody just starting out. You know, they would be able to, you know, talk to you and ask you questions, and you'd be able to give them, you know, your honest opinion, or just experience, share your story with them. I think that people would really, you know, benefit from talking to you about that, because you've.
Thanks, girl. I'm putting together a curriculum.
Yeah, see?
I'm just kidding.
But I think you know, it's true. And there are so many people who come in with one idea of what they think it's going to be and what they think they have to do. And when they start getting to work, they realize, oh, it's completely different than what they thought, or, you know, where they thought they weren't going to need so much help, they really, 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 really do. So
yeah, I mean, it's, in some ways, it's still magic. It's still a miracle, you know, if you are heard, and if you get to go on the road and make a living. I mean, it's still a miracle. It's still, you're an artist, and it's and art is not always appreciated like, you know, other forms of work and things. So it's just, I feel like, you know, it's just about persistence, and there is a lot that I think say to somebody, whether it helped them or not. I feel like I have learned a lot, but there's so much to learn, because the landscape is different now, and it's, a lot of people are ahead if they're really young, just because they know sort of this whole digital world that somebody who's older doesn't have a clue about. So, you know, even people that have more experience may not be up to speed on what all the new ways of doing things are. And that's, you can be ahead of the game if you know the new ways of doing things. So it's a lot of, I don't know. I mean, you can't trade experience. I understand that. So there's a lot to be said for experience. And I feel like, you know, maybe I could help somebody out. I don't know. Hopefully, the things that I've learned.
Well, I definitely think so. And, you know, just being in this town, being in Nashville, I mean, you're surrounded by so many amazing, talented artists, you know, songwriters, musicians, just everybody.
I know, you barely can go into a place where you don't hear somebody that's like, makes your jaw drop.
Right.
No matter where. Like, you go into a bar in a college town or something, you're like, oh, God, I got to get out of here. But, like, here, you just walk in and you're like, and it's like somebody who plays with Marty Stewart, and somebody who plays with Dolly Parton over here, and you know, Luke Bryant, well, whomever.
Yeah. We run into that all the time, and it's just, we laugh now because, you know, at first I used to get kind of like just, I was in awe, like, oh my gosh, why are they here in a bar with all of us? You know what I mean? And then it just got to the point where, well, hell, we're just in a bar with everyone else. That's where everyone is. And, you know, not that everyone's in a bar here in Nashville. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just, but you know, everywhere you go, just, and they just have everyday lives. People are just doing
I played
everything.
in Ernest Tubbs record store downtown with Loretta Lynn's granddaughter, Taylor. I mean, you could show up anywhere just about at any given moment and find like, oh, wow, that's, you know, somebody else's granddaughter over there doing, you know.
It's been
Nashville.
It's Nashville. You said it perfect. It's Nashville. That's where we're going to leave that, because I have no other way to explain it. It's the biggest small town, you know, that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just, you guys have to get here. If you haven't been to Nashville, you guys need to come to Nashville.
Do it.
Come visit. Come see Shelly, because she's amazing. And you just played CMA Fest too. I forgot to talk about that.
I did.
How was that for you?
It was fantastic. And, you know, it's just, I love to play. So anytime that I'm asked to, or that I ask somebody and they say yes, I'm like, all about it. Yeah. So
That's right. That's awesome. Okay, guys. Well, you need to check her out on her website. Her new album is titled Buffalo. Her single is Mississippi Turnpike. And then what's the other one?
the other single.
The other one that's on the playlist.
Damn Good Lover.
Damn Good Lover. I knew it was a D, and I
Can
knew
we
that
say
lover
damn?
we can say damn.
Damn Good Lover.
Damn Good Lover. All right, guys. You heard her, so check her out. Stay tuned for more. New music video is on the way. We just don't know which one yet, so you have to stay tuned to find out.
Be my friend.
Until next time, see you soon.